Hello YouTube viewers, subscribers, non-subscribers, and all of you other people. Welcome back. And if this is your first time here, just welcome. What we have is a Ford Econobox delivery cargo work van of the 2004 model year. And the customer states that they ran it low on gas and it died. Then they put gas back in it, put some fuel injector cleaner in the tank, and now it runs rough. So we're gonna swing this bad boy into the shop and diagnose said issue. If I turn that off, copyright. Okay, it's got a check engine light on. That's gonna at least let me know there's some trouble code stored somewhere. So I will start with the DTCs and we will figure out what to do after that. Stay tuned. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling a misfire in this engine, so let's swing it out into the shop and figure out what's going on here. Customer states rattle noise when going over bumps. All right, I've got the scan tool connected. I'm preparing to scan the ECM for any trouble codes that are here. Let's see, engine, yep. While that's going on, I think I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everybody who has recently sent me channel donations to my P.O. box. I've gotten a couple lights and a camera mount. I got a head mount for my GoPros, and you guys know who you are. I'd just like to thank all of you for your donations. I truly do appreciate it. Okay, so we've got some codes here. There's a few things going on. It looks like the downstream O2 sensors are indicating that the catalytic converters are performing inefficiently. Looks like cylinder bank 2 is running rich. That could be due to misfires, or it could be due to excess fuel in one specific cylinder. I'll have to determine that later. P0316, this is saying that there's a misfire detected on engine startup. P0300, that's fairly generic. It's saying that there's random misfires detected. And a specific misfire code, P0307. Okay. Now what this is telling me is there's too much fuel going through the exhaust. It's not being burned. Cylinders are misfiring. It could just be one, it could be multiple. Okay, so I went through a couple other menu items looking for data that stood out to me. I didn't see much in engine data. What I need to do, this is kind of just a no-charge preliminary check, just to kind of get a feel of what's going on here. It is time to get into some paid diagnostic work. I'm going to need to, since this is a van, I'm going to need to pull this doghouse out, get access to the engine, and start to inspect. Okay, seeing as how cylinder number 7 is the primary offender regarding the misfires on this, I'm going to go ahead and pull this doghouse out and gain access to the engine, pull the coil and spark plug out of number 7, inspect those, and we will then plot a course with regards to the next step of what we're going to do. But first I have to clear some space so I can be inside of here. So I'm taking all this dude's goodies and putting them in one of his little cubby boxes back there. Okay, we are looking at the back side of this engine with the doghouse removed from inside of the cabin. And I had heard an exhaust leak also earlier. I want to see if I can detect that while this thing is out of the way. So let's start this back up and I'll see if I can hear it. I smell it. I think it's the manifolds over here at the flange. I'm gonna put my hand by it, see if I can feel it. Feel it. I hear it. Oh, that one's leaking. Yeah. I feel one right here. Okay. All right, solve that problem. Yes, my strategy is going to be to hone in on this misfire on cylinder 7. After that, I'll see if I can't get him to replace these flange gaskets down here. That will seal up the exhaust, because on a D-cell, after I revved the engine, it was coming back down from its RPM. I heard some suction, or change in pitch rather, which could be air entering that exhaust pipe on that passenger side, and that would most definitely cause an inefficiency trouble code to set for in the ECM. Now number 7 from this point of view should be the second coil from the back. Let's see. So I've got the connector off. I guess first things first, I'm going to fetch a Noid light and see if I have injector pulse at this connector. Okie dokes. This little guy is commonly referred to as a Noid light. It's basically designed to turn on and off as the PCM sends actually closes the ground contact side on the coil or fuel injector. It can be used for testing either of those two. Basically you plug it in and starting the engine. And let me move this big light. We see here that it is getting coil pulse. The reason that I'm going through and testing everything is I don't know exactly what kind of a problem we have here. I can't determine if it has an ignition problem or a fueling problem. So I'm just going to test and inspect all components of the affected cylinder until I can get some conclusive results. Because science. Let's pull this coil out of here. Ooh, she's kind of stuck. Come on. There's our coil. Next up, I'd like to see if this coil itself is firing. So I have a simulated spark plug here. It's basically just a threaded rod with a gap and a little connector on it to attach it to ground. And I'm gonna hook this. Nope, sure didn't. Straight to the floor. As I was saying, I'm gonna connect this to this bolt right here for the valve cover after I drop my tool. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got it. It hit the ground. So this is going to get connected to a ground source, and then I'm going to reconnect this coil to its connector, start the engine again, and we're going to be looking for spark to show up at the gap at the end of this tool. What this is going to tell me is if this coil itself is firing, and if it's not, then I probably found the source of the problem. If it is, I'll have to go deeper and find something else. Okay, that's good enough for what I'm doing. Okay, the coil is firing. See the little sparky sparks? I'm not getting any closer because it'll jump over here and tag my finger, and I don't want to do that. Okay, so far we've determined that the coil is good. We've determined that the engine control module is firing the coil, and so I just pulled the connector for the number 7 injector, and I reconnected it, or connected the Noid light to it, and looky here, we have no flash out of this light. What that means is the ECM is not sending injector pulse to the cylinder number 7 fuel injector. This will require further diagnosis at this point. Okay, so I've gone ahead and pulled up a wiring diagram for this fuel injector, and it looks like the injectors on each bank are powered at all times with key on or engine running. They are then actuated by the ECM when it wants to be commanded open or closed. So what I need to do is find the tan and red wire on pin 72 of the ECM, disconnect that from the ECM, and test this wire to make sure that this wire is good. I'll basically hook a meter up to it at this end and I will hook a meter up at this end and check for continuity and resistance. If I find that this wire right here is in good shape, that will then tell me that the ECM/PCM itself is not grounding that wire and commanding the injector on and off. So we may have a bad wire, or we may have a bad computer, but that's what has been narrowed down to so far. The reason that I'm assuming that the power wire is good is those injectors share the same power supply from multiple sources. However, I don't want to assume, because the wire itself could be broken you know, right here after the splice. So just to verify that this injector is in fact getting power, I'm going to go ahead and plug the meter back into that with the key on and make sure I have 12 volts or battery voltage present that is attempting to power the injector. So what I'll do is I'll put this meter up here in the line of sight, and I will ground one side of the meter down here on the cylinder head. Can you guys see that right there? And we're gonna key this on. So with the key on, we should be able to see, I hope you guys can see the screen on that. What we're checking for is voltage being present to determine if this injector is being powered or if it's not being grounded. And there we go. According to the meter, we have 12.19 volts. That is nominal battery voltage. So what we have here is a grounding problem from the ECM. It's either the wire or it's the ECM itself. And just to verify one more time, let's reconnect the Noid light and just make sure. Okay, now we have injector pulse. What is going on here? And now we do not have injector pulse. Okay, yeah, that was the first time I've seen injector pulse here. You guys saw it, we had it, and then we lost it. Okay. We have a problem with the driver in the ECM. That's what's wrong with this this particular Ford. Okay, so what I want to do now is check resistance and or continuity from the ground side of this connector to the injector to the ECM. Now the ECM is on the other side of the firewall in the engine compartment. What I'm going to do is just feed this wire up into the front of the engine compartment, and I'll grab it from the other side to connect to the harness. I've already gone and located the correct connector at the ECM and disconnected it. There we go. The purpose here again is to just test the wire and through process of elimination determine if we have a wire problem or a computer problem. I'm betting we have a computer problem, but I would like to verify such things. And that, there it is. Okay, here's the end of our meter right now. So this right here is the ECM connector, and we're looking for pin 72. Now the writing is very, very small. I don't know if you dudes are gonna be able to see this. I'll try to zoom it in. But we can see right here, this white and red wire is labeled pin 79. So we're just gonna count those down until we get to 72, and which is going to be this red wire right here. Nope, I'm wrong. These count up. If I look at the other side, that's pin 104. So the one we're looking for is on the second row down, about 4 or 5 over. Let me put this camera down and count those back up, and we will connect the pin from the meter to the appropriate hole on this side of the connector, and then we will check continuity. Alrighty, so if we know this is 79 and we're looking for 72, we're gonna count it down from the other side. 78, 77, 76, 75, 74, 73, 72. This is our winner. need a better pin. All right, I've got 72 and I went and got a jumper lead that fits that pin. We're gonna plug that in now, and let's go back to our meter after we drop the wire out. Starting again. Try to not drop that this time. Okay, with the lead connected, we can head back inside and we'll check for ground continuity, or continuity on the ground wire with the meter. Okay, meter set up and it's on continuity check. All right, that confirms we have the correct wire at the PCM and that wire is not broken. Okay, so now that we know that this wire is good and it's making continuity, that leaves me to theorize that the driver inside the ECM is not firing the injector on cylinder number 7. Therefore, this ECM needs to be replaced. All right, I'm gonna go see what I can do about getting an ECM. I still want them to replace those coils and a couple other items in there, but I think we're gonna go as cheap as possible, and you know, we'll go from there. So I'm gonna go present this to the service guys and we'll see what happens. Okay, next. This is not good. So we have a confirmed failed engine control module. I have a van torn apart that these people need, and we cannot get ourselves a replacement ECM for this van. Apparently there is a computer chip shortage globally, and part of those shortages of computer chips are used to build the ECMs for 2004 E150 vans. Now, to the best of my knowledge, I do not believe we can use a salvage yard or junkyard replacement component, because the VIN numbers are encoded into the control modules themselves, and I do not believe they can be deleted or overwritten. If they can, I do not possess those skills, and that's not a job that I would be able to accomplish. So at this point, I'm very stuck in limbo. We have a few calls out to our parts suppliers and the local Ford dealership. So we've got several folks out trying to locate a not programmed new old stock ECM for this van, but it's gonna take them a day or two to get back to us. That being said, this repair in this video is gonna be in limbo until we get word back from everybody. So it looks like we're gonna end up making this a 2-part series video. This will be the diagnostic portion, of course, and once we figure out how to get a new computer for this, then I will make another video on repairing it and confirming the fix. Point, I'm gonna button this thing up and close out this video. Before I go, of course, I would like to thank all of you guys for watching this video. I certainly do appreciate it. The only thing I would ask of you in exchange for the free content is if you would reach down and tap that thumbs up button. That button is what lets me and YouTube know that I've done a good job here. And if YouTube thinks that I've done a good job, they are far more likely to recommend my content to other potential viewers. And that's good for me, and it's good for them. As always, before I go, I have to remind myself to not forget to remind you guys to not forget to have great days. See you guys later.